Hi everyone.
Hi Shashank. Let's just wait for some more minutes and then we can start.
Sure, Maina. Hello everyone. Good evening. Good morning. We are waiting for a few more folks to join and we will start then.
Okay, good morning.
Hello.
This conference will now be recorded.
Mahima, are we good to start or we should wait 2 more minutes?
I think we should start now. So
All
let
right.
me go start the session.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome everyone to welcome everyone to today's session. Today's session is on CBAP and CCB preparation trips. Before starting, let me tell you about Tech Canvas. Tech Canvas is a premium training organization. We are IIBA certified. We are IIBA authorized and PMP authorized. We offer trainings in various courses like CBAP, CCBA, PMP, AAC, CBDA, and more. Apart from that, we also have training in domains like finance, healthcare, banking, and more. Speaking of today's session, it'll be of great help if you are planning to prepare for the CBAP and CBAP exam, and if you want some tips to crack it in your first attempt. During the session, I would request everyone to keep their mics on mute, and if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box. So, Shashank, you can start.
Thank you, Mahima. Hi, everyone. My name is Shashank Jain, and I am certified business analysis professional. Overall, 15 plus years of experience into business analysis in different roles, different positions. I have worked with many type of organization, be it startup, mid-size organization, or Fortune 500 companies as well. So today's session is an hour session where I'll be talking about CBAP and CCBA exam preparations. This session will be helpful for anyone who wants to move into business analysis role, as well as who is already in this role for quite a few years and want to go for the certification so that they can learn and know the right guidelines to follow. It can be for someone as well who want to switch their domain or role into business analysis. So, to give an introduction about these certifications, CCBA or CBAP. CBAP is Certified Business Analysis Professional, and CCBA is Competency Certificate in Business Analysis. Both these certifications come from IIBA Canada. IIBA Canada was formed in year 2003, and for last 20 plus years, that organization is helping the folks through the globe to prepare for these examinations. Meanwhile, I'll request all of you to also put high level introduction about yourself. That will include, of course, number of years of experience and which certification you are going for, whether it is CBAP, CCBA, or ECBA. Just we'll take 1 minute of time and you can put that introduction into chat box, as it will help me to drive those conversations and making this session more helpful for you so that you can utilize it better. You can find this into chat area, into your GoToMeeting. If you have joined from web, you can see the chat area. If you have joined from app as well, you can see there is a chat icon. There you can just write number of years of experience that you have and which certification you are looking for. Thank you. One of the participant here has 4 years of experience. You are into e-commerce and US healthcare domain as well. So yeah, that's good. So probably you can go for CCBA. All right. Number of years of experience, 9 years, good enough. Can go for CBAP. Okay, you have already done CCBA. So yeah, then it will be more helpful for you, all the learnings that you have already got. And then, yeah, that's like a next level for you to go for CBAP. All right, others are planning for CCBA. For Raghu has 4 years of experience as BA in pharma. So pretty much looks like, yeah, so far the response which I have got, it looks like that. Most of you are already a business analyst. All right, so, and meanwhile, I'll also give some of my past experience as well. Yes, I also started as a software developer 15 years back, but around 4 or 5 years of experience into development. Then I moved my role into business analyst, and it has been around more than 12 years I have been doing it. All right. Thank you, those who shared their about them in terms of number of years of experience and domain and what you are planning for. Prasanna is writing that yes, Prasanna has 12 and a half years of experience in investing in banking domain, already CCBA trained, so which means that the next step for you is going for CBAP. All right, I'll start the session. We'll go through the agenda. What we will see that this session is focused towards both the CCBA ones and the CBAP ones as well. So I'll talk about both of them. In today's session, we'll talk about how to approach the BABOK version 3. Those who don't know what BABOK is, BABOK is Business Analysis Body of Knowledge. This is the book which anyone, if you are going for CBAP, CCBA, and in fact, there is one more certification as well, which is ECBA. Although today's agenda has been more on CBAP and CCA, but yeah, those who are very new to this certification, they should know that ECBA is another certification which one can take who is like very new to this. It can be like fresh graduates or someone who does not have any background about business analysis, and they can go for ECBA as well, which is called entry level certificate in business analysis. All of these comes from IIBA Canada. In today's session, we'll talk about how to approach this book. This book is around 500 pages plus book. I'll talk about the entire structure and some of the tips and tricks that how to approach that. I will also be talking about some of the preparation strategies as well for CBAP, what you should do, what you should not do for these professional certification exam. That is also I'll talk about. We will also look into some of the exam question types as well. For that, I will be showing some of the mock questions from Tech Canvas exam series, which has around 800 plus questions for the preparation. So we'll see some of those questions as well. We'll understand what types of question one can expect into CBAP especially. And we'll also talk about what is the weightage and difference in these two certification. So far, any question anyone has, you can put that in chat as well. Okay, moving on. And meanwhile, you can put your questions also. So let's understand what is BABOK, how to approach this book. So there are few methods that can be followed. BABOK, as I said, is 500 plus pages book. It has 6 knowledge areas, few introduction chapters as well, one entire chapter for 50 techniques which are there in this book. There are other chapters as well. One is underlying competencies, and there is a chapter for perspectives as well. So one approach that can be taken to approach this book, of course, the order of the knowledge areas in this book is like first and second chapter are about introduction and key concepts. From chapter 3 onwards, the knowledge areas start. First knowledge area in the book is business analysis, planning and monitoring. Chapter number 4 is elicitation and collaboration. Chapter 5 is requirements, lifecycle management. Chapter 6 is strategy analysis. Chapter 7 is requirement analysis and design definition. And chapter 8 is solution evaluation. So from chapter 3 till chapter 8 onward, these are the 6 knowledge areas. So how you should, one of the recommendations which I have for you to approach in terms of order of knowledge areas is to start first with the knowledge area called strategy analysis. That will be your first knowledge area to start with. Then you move on to business analysis, planning and monitoring, then elicitation and collaboration. After that, you can take both the requirements related knowledge area, which are requirement lifecycle management and requirement analysis and design definition. And lastly, you can go to the knowledge area, and the name of the knowledge area is solution evaluation. So, the rationale for taking this order of knowledge areas is that it gives a kind of a logical sequence of how business analysis activities do happen in any regular initiative. So, giving an example, let's take an example of some aviation company who wants to build some innovative mobile application for their all customers, passengers. And that's where now they want some tech organizations to work with them, and more importantly, a business analyst who can help them in understanding this entire change which they want to do. Business analysis is basically understanding the change the organizations want. So here what we see here, and when we connect it with the knowledge areas. So as I said, start with strategy analysis. Why so? So this aviation company, let's take it, some scenario that this aviation company already has a web-based system where their existing customers have been booking the flights for a number of years. And now they want to move into mobile applications as well. So what is the trigger for doing that? Definitely, this company would have found that they might be seeing some drop in customer bookings. They might have seen that they are lagging behind in terms of competition. So you see here, there are various reasons that this aviation company can work with a business analyst, and the business analyst can work with aviation company stakeholders like different people who are the decision makers, and a business analyst can work on understanding first the current state of this company. And the current state analysis is about understanding what is the existing infrastructure, technology which are being used, and to understand what is the business need, why they want to have some change in their organization. It's also about understanding organization and culture, understanding what industry it is, what domain it is, and then working on definition of a future state, right? This is how generally any initiative starts, right? It's not like that one directly start working on a project or a product. Very first, there needs to be some strategy, there needs to be some thought process, right? And that's the reason that I recommend that start with the knowledge area strategy analysis, because this is something which business analyst might be doing initially in any project. Some of you, even those who are experienced, might say that we have been working as a business analyst for a long time, but usually you might not be involved much into strategy analysis. And that is also okay, that happens. Why? It may happen that this aviation company may have some internal business analyst, may have some management consultant, or they might have hired some third party to do all this analysis. But basically, this is entirely a part of strategy analysis. It might happen you may get that opportunity to work upon it from your organization if you're working in the tech companies, or it might be like you may be working at their side, right? So that is how it works. So first thing, order of knowledge area, as I said, start with strategy analysis. And what happens then? Once this strategy is formed, once all these business cases are written, after that, then any initiative starts in terms of implementation, and then you get real opportunity or real work as working as a complete, thoroughly as a business analyst. And then there are different things which as a business analyst you do. So the second knowledge area which I recommend here is to start with business analysis, planning and monitoring. There you do all this like prep kind of thing or planning kind of thing, where you understand what approach you are going to take in your initiative, whether it will be agile, whether it will be waterfall. You also will understand what all stakeholders that will be involved, what will be the governance that needs to be followed throughout the initiative, then how the information and documents would be stored, right? Because as a business analyst, you need to define all such things, right? Because eventually you will become the owner or say manager of the requirements. So you need to know where this entire information is lying, right? So, and after that, this knowledge area is also talks about that how generally you should be doing your monitoring of business analysis work. And that's the reason I say take second knowledge area as BAPM, which is business analysis, planning and monitoring. After that, elicitation and collaboration, which in general term as a business analyst, what we say discovery or say requirement gathering or say meeting with the stakeholder or doing some research, right? So all these things are part of your elicitation and collaboration. And I say that in fact, this happens throughout the initiative. It's not like you just do elicitation and collaboration for specific amount of time in an initiative and after that you don't do it. No, it's like you keep doing it, but yeah, take that order. Strategy analysis first, BAPM second, and then there's elicitation and collaboration. After that, once elicitation and collaboration has happened, there you use different type of techniques, which can be as a BA, you will be running some workshops, or technique which you may be using can be brainstorming, right? So all these techniques are also part of your this knowledge area, which is elicitation and collaboration. And after that, what happens in any initiative? You have gathered the requirement, then you write your requirements as well. And that's where two knowledge areas are dedicated for requirements in BABOK. One is requirement lifecycle management. Again, this is also like not like one-time activity. Requirement lifecycle management happens throughout any initiative from inception till the retirement of any requirement. Whereas, and after that, so it talks about how you can trace the requirements, how you should maintain requirements, how you can even prioritize your requirements, what all things you need to consider while prioritizing your requirements. And after that, you should take requirement analysis and design definition, which talks about how to write the requirement, how as a BA you can support in terms of solutioning, because you work along with the implementation team. It's not like that your role is just kind of standalone where you just write the requirements and then you move on from one project to another project, right? And that's why it talks about requirement analysis and design definition. And lastly, what you do as a business analyst in any initiative, you evaluate that what requirements you have given, how the solution has came up, and then you compare that whether the implemented solution is fulfilling the requirements. And that's where what you do the solution evaluation. And that is like your last knowledge area. So this is the recommendation order of knowledge areas. Some of the tasks you will find. So yeah, in the knowledge areas, there are tasks. So those who are not so close to BABOK, one thing to tell you, knowledge areas have tasks. Tasks are the activity that a business analyst do to do their different type of business analysis activities which are being done. Every knowledge area has tasks. Within those tasks, there are techniques as well, which you need to know, right? So second thing, sequential tasks. In many knowledge areas, you will find that some tasks happen one after another. So yeah, that is also one way to learn or recall that how you can approach the BABOK. Then find out common themes across knowledge area, right? Like I said, that related to requirements, there are two knowledge areas, which is requirement lifecycle management and requirement analysis and design definition. Understand well that what happens into solution evaluation, what happens across elicitation and collaboration. And lastly, very important thing, while you read the BABOK, don't just read it just that what is mentioned on the pages in terms of what this book is telling you. Try to connect everything that how this might work in your real-time work as well. Many things when you read it first time, you may find that maybe not so closer to you. Reason being that as a business analyst, you might not have used particular task, particular technique, even when you have worked in past in a similar kind of situation. But yeah, the point here is to understand that what BABOK is recommending and what is the best practice. So BABOK is all about the best practices that a business analyst follow while performing the business analysis work. This certification is recognized globally as well. There are other certifications as well other than IIBA, but what I have seen is that IIBA certifications are well recognized across the globe, across the industry. Like this book is also not just for someone who is coming from IT background only. This book is written by more than 50 authors, people who collaborated all together, who brought their experience from different industries, wide range of experience they had. And that's where you can then imagine that how much consensus would have gone while writing this book, right? So it's not like quite biased book towards one technology or towards one methodology. This is something which when you go through it, you can apply all these learnings no matter whichever domain you are working in, whichever company you are working in. So this will tell you what guidelines you need to follow, and now it helps you in making the decision what needs to be done and what is the best scenario. So let's look into some of the strategies that can be followed. So like I said, understand the body of knowledge, which is this book, BABOK, for the CBAP, CCBA, and in fact ECBA preparation as well, and choose the right version. The current version is version 3. So make sure that you are reading version 3 only. Prior to this, there was version 2, but that was active till 2016 August only. For more than 6 years, this is the version which is active. And I think like at least for next 3 or 4 years, it will remain as it is. It's not going to be upgraded because this is quite a good upgrade from the previous version. So you need not to worry much that if I'm preparing for the exam and if I'm going for the exam in next 2 or 3 months, whether the version would change. So no, it's not going to change at least for 2 to 3 years. So understanding the structure of the book is important. While reading it, at least the recommendation is also that you should read it at least 2 to 3 times, because then you start forming the connections across all the knowledge areas. So it's not like that all the knowledge areas that you have in this book, you just read one by one and just think like that one is done, I'm good with this. Because the thing is that all the knowledge areas are interconnected. So that is something which you need to understand here. The next strategy, very important, that for doing the certification, one thing is that you should take the training from education endorsed provider. And Tech Campus is also one of the education endorsed provider. These education endorsed provider, there is a process as well, which these like Tech Campus have to renew every year by proving the credentials, the study materials, the process which is being followed to train the participants. That's why it's always recommended that take the training from education endorsed provider. You can find the information whether which providers are like certified ones. And also at these education endorsed provider, all the trainers are also like CBAP certified, who already have a good amount of training experience, which can be in range of 3 to 5 years plus of experience. So when you learn all these things from someone who is trained enough, who has been into industry, using all this for a lot of time, then you can get the right guidance. So it is also important. Also, for these certifications, there are some requirements in terms of having professional development units, which are basically your professional development hours. Like for CBAP, the requirement is have to have 35 hours of PTUs. So it means through these trainings also, you can get these hours as well. For CCPA, it is 24 hours of training is required minimum. Next strategy is to create a study plan. Yes, it requires a lot of discipline here to go through this. Also, having a continuity is important. So when you go through these trainings, which generally ranges in the month of in around 1.5 month of time, where you may have like weekend sessions of 2 to 2.5 hours each weekend. So over the 2 month of time, you can complete the entire course. After that, you can create your own study plan as well for revision. But yeah, the recommendation is while your trainings are going on, keep reading during that time rather than waiting the entire course to complete and uh, then asking questions. But that time you may find that uh, making a connection with each of the knowledge area may be difficult. So that's why having a study plan for your examination, for your studies is very important. Next strategy is reading the book, BABOK, which is this book. Familiarize yourself with it fully. And that's the reason I said that you need to read it at least 2 to 3 times. Understand, familiarize yourself how the different knowledge areas connect with each other, which techniques are used in which knowledge area more. You may find that some of the techniques are used even across multiple tasks, across multiple knowledge areas as well. So it's important to understand the context as well, that in which scenario, which technique can be used. And even a lot of questions also come in your CBAP or CCBA exam, where you have to answer it based on the understanding the context. And CBAP has a lot of scenario based and case study based questions as well. So yes, CBAP is difficult than CCBA. CBAP is also for someone who generally who is having 5+ years of experience, and there is requirement for number of hours of experience into business analysis as well, and that varies from CBAP and CCBA. But yeah, that is another strategy. Next is very important. Don't just memorize. It's not like just mugging up the book, reading it 5 times. No, you should focus on understanding the facts and also form the relationships among every task and technique in the BABOK. Like I said, that techniques you will find, it will be used across different tasks. So reading the context is very important. So when you go through the BABOK, you will find that there is mention of techniques in each task, but reading that context, for example, in which situation you will be doing brainstorming. So brainstorming can be used while strategy analysis as well. Brainstorming is one of a relevant technique in elicitation and collaboration as well. Brainstorming even can be done while solution evaluation as well in some of the tasks, while out some new solutions. So you will find that the use of technique across each task may be different. In some of the tasks, it's about performing it. In some of the tasks, it's about utilizing it. So that is where you need to understand why techniques are used. There are total 30 tasks. In the 6 knowledge areas, there are 30 tasks. Strategy analysis has 4 tasks, and requirement analysis and design definition knowledge area has 6 tasks, whereas rest of other 4 knowledge areas has 5 tasks each, which makes total 30 tasks here. So within those tasks, reading the elements section is very important, because that is where they form a lot of questions, because they are quite content heavy, and participant may tend to skip some of the information which is there. But that is where you need to be very careful while doing your revisions, doing your readings. Understanding this is also important, which you see here, which is like the weightage which is there for each of the knowledge areas. The book is same, be it CBAP, be it CCBA. Training is also generally same. So that's the pattern here. So in terms of percentage of questions here, you can see there is some variation, where you see that CBAP has a good amount of percentage of questions from requirement analysis and design definition, and some lesser questions into elicitation and collaboration. But yeah, this is just a guideline for you to understand where you need to read more. It's not like you can even skip any single module or say knowledge area. Each of the knowledge areas you have to read well. You cannot afford to misreading or giving less effort into any of the knowledge area. So understanding, in fact, helps at least for some of your preparation as well. Uh, Another strategy is also yes, of course, it's about doing a lot of practice. So practice is about, yes, reading the book at least 2 3 times. Doing a lot of mock questions is also important, because then you are able to understand that what type of scenario based questions come into CBAP. Especially CCPA is comparatively easier than CBAP. CBAP is more about scenario based questions, case study based question. In fact, there are some numerical questions as well. So when you do a lot of practice, do mock questions after every knowledge area, then take full length tests as well. That actually helps you in making a good understanding about and understanding what sort of questions that can come into your examination. Another important strategy is don't fall into trap. What does that mean? So, as a business analyst, a lot of folks who haven't done this certification or haven't gone through BABOK, but yes, we have been working as a business analyst for a lot of years. You may have worked into multiple companies. Each of the company may have different way of working, and some of the questions which they form is like giving you some look, which looks like a real kind of scenario, and then you might te- if you haven't read this book well, then you might try to answer it based on your own judgment or what you may have done into past, right, based on what it says, like our beliefs. So that is something we need to be very careful about. We have to answer the questions based on the facts and evidences which are here, which are there into BABOK version 3. So all of them are well tested in different scenarios, and that's why those facts and evidences are there in this BABOK version 3. So when you answer any question, always keep in mind that what BABOK has taught us, because that is based on the facts and evidences. So don't answer it based on your past experience or based on your just simple judgment that if that is the saying, I will take this step. No, that is what you have to be very careful about. There are numerical questions as well, which you can expect in your CBAP as well. So numerical questions. So there are some of the formulas which are there in BABOK version 3. They are across some of the techniques, like financial analysis has a lot of formulas. Then few other techniques also have the formulas where you might get some of the numerical questions. It can be across making like doing some decision modeling as well, is one of a technique where you have some formulas like how you make a decision based on considering different variables, and then how you come to it. In fact, estimation is also a technique which can give you some of the numerical questions. Next strategy for CBAP folks is prepare well for the case study based questions. In your examination, total 120 questions are there, but you can expect around 7 to 8 case studies. These case studies are like long paragraphs, 1 or 2 pager, sometimes 3 pager case study. And after that, you can expect like within each of the case study around 4 to 6 questions. So approx, like if we just take a rough number, it can be like around out of 120 questions, across 35 to 40 questions will be there from case studies. And other questions, rest of the questions can be across scenario based questions where there is a long paragraph, a last question is there. Based on that, you have to make a right choice. Exam paper is like you have to choose only one option. But yes, sometimes some of the questions can be like they give you options like combination of section point A and B, A, B, and C, none of them, and those kind of things as well. So yeah, it looks like a multiple choice question as well. However, for every question, there is only one right answer. So let's look what to do, what not to do, right? So one of the recommendation for preparation for your exam is definitely attending some training from education endorsed provider. as you get the right mentorship and training. Creating a focused study plan. So what I have seen that some of the folks give like 1.5 to 2 months of dedicated time for their preparation and go for exam. In fact, some of the folks even have done in 10 days of core study as well. So on an average, one can clear this examination in the range of 3 months of time as well, which includes the training also. Familiarize yourself with BABOK fully and focus on the facts and relationship. You can make a lot of mnemonics. There are different techniques that you can follow for your examination, which can be like preparation of your flashcards, or in fact, taking, in the question bank, there are a different kind of mock questions as well, which is even with Tech Canvas as well, where they have like, we have these mock questions, flashcards, match kind of questions, or list kind of things, because within BABOK, there are a lot of sections where there are a lot of lists within it. For example, when you go through a technical non-functional requirement, there are many categories within it. When you look into what are the type of objectives or how the business objectives be written, they need to be smart. So those are the things for which you can prepare your mnemonics as well to recall them. Prepare for situational questions, case study based question, and numerical questions. Don't directly jump and start reading BABOK just page by page, right? Then you may not be able to even complete it, because when you don't get right guidance, then it may be very, very difficult for doing it only a kind of self-study only and then complete it. And also, like I said, that for your questionnaires, don't answer it based on your previous experience only, right? You have to answer your questions, whatever you get, based on the facts and the evidences which are mentioned into BABOK, right? Also, don't just try to find out some dumps which you may get over the internet, because CBAP or CCBA exams are not like that you find some dumps, prepare for some 150, 200 questions, and you may be clearing it. Now, don't rely on that. You need to get the content only from education endorsed providers who have these questions, because they are something like IIBA standard kind of questions, which are not simply available over the internet freely, right? Also, some of the folks try to read it themselves, but yeah, then they may lack right guidance. They may lack mock questions, and that's why that is also not one of a recommendation, like doing a self-managed learning. All right, let's look at some type of questions that you can expect into your CBAP or CCBA examination, which are like situation-based questions. We can look into one of a case study-based questions as well, and there are other type of numerical questions as well. All right, so here is the Tech Canvas question bank, basically. There are different sort of practice questions that can help you in doing the preparation. Quick revision tables are there as well. Case study questions are there, around 30 case studies are there, which have around 150 questions, which is really helpful for understanding what sort of questions may come. This also has different mind maps as well. So because it's important that you understand well that how different tasks connect with each other, how knowledge areas are connected. And in fact, there is a very huge CBAP question bank as well, which includes all of the type of questions, which can be situation based, case study based, and the numerical ones as well. Let's look into one of a case study, that how they look like. There are a lot of case studies which are there. So let's take one of them. This is how the case study based questions look like. They may give you a scenario about some company, a lot of facts would be there as well, right? So it can be uh, about the company, when it started, how many people are there. Then they may give you some long uh, data, which may be like across products, and it can be anything. It's like giving you a lot of data in terms of number, percentage, dollar value. Some of the business analysis work, which generally happens, which can be like doing some as is forecasting. Here you see that what forecast has taken place, then what was the salary which were paid, what was the headcount, then there will be a statement about problem statement. So yeah, these case studies can vary. Not every time you will be, this is the same pattern which you will be there. In some of the case study, there may be mention of some problem statement, business requirements, problem solving, and these heads can be totally different. Then there will be some expectation. So it's like a case study. There maybe they may give you some modeling diagram as well. So that may give you some idea that what is their blueprint. So this is like you can see that how the case study based questions look like. And based on that, then there are around 5 questions which are there. So these questions are like there will be question, there will be options which you have to make answer. So sometimes even for some of the case study, you might need not to read entire case study first. Recommendation here is that first read the questions which are there in the case study. As some of the questions, even you may be able to answer it even without reading the case study in detail, because these are the type of questions which is like when you know from BABOK well that what to do in a kind of a situation, then even some questions even you can answer just by reading the question and looking at the options, because some of the options you may be even able to easily eliminate as well, right? So even from this test series, you can like select some answer, you can even read. So yeah, if you have chosen wrong answer here, you can even understand that what is the reason why you answered something incorrectly. So you can check those answers as well, and it gives a explanation as well that why data mining, for example, here is the right answer and why others are also incorrect, because that is also important to understand. It's not like just understanding what is the right answer, but also to understand why others are incorrect. As one of the tip is that you should look at the options, find out which are the 2 options which you can easily eliminate, and then you will be left with 2 options. And after that, what is the best option which you can choose, right? So like this is how the questions will look like. But yeah, through this test series, you can understand what is the right answers and the explanation behind them. For example, here is the right answer is the D. Why it's the best option. Good amount of explanation is there, so that you can always cross check it with the BABOK as well. That why is particular thing option is the right one. So here, like one of the question can be Phil asked Jack to submit a report of expected solution benefits, costs of creating the solution, cost of operating the solution, potential impactors. Which technique will be used here? So once you know what is the technique, what it does, you should be able to answer it. So here it should be like answer estimation, because it talks about creating the solution, cost of operating the solution, and what technique has to be used. Then some of the question may be very specific to the case study, as it may say that who is the sponsor. So there are different types of stakeholders who are there, which are explained into BABOK. So who should be then you may have to reference back to the case study, read out different folks who are there. So here it says that Matthew is the CEO of some company, and he decides to do something. Different stakeholders, who is the BA. So that is how you have to then go back into the case study and then answer it. So this is how the case study based questions look like. There are different type of other questions as well, like scenario based questions are also there, which are there into this CBAP question bank as well. So that can be also like one can utilize. So this is the type of questions that you can expect into your examination. So with this, we looked into those strategy, a quick recap. You need to have like order of knowledge areas, what sequential tasks you should use, read well about the BABOK, take the training from the education endorsed provider, make a study plan, then familiarize yourself with BABOK, read the book at least 2-3 times, be comfortable with it. Don't just memorize. Like focus on mostly on the facts and relationships. Understand what is the weightage so that you understand well where you have to put more focus. Practice a lot. Answer based on the facts and evidences rather than your own beliefs. Prepare for different type of questions, which is case study based questions, scenario based questions, and numerical questions as well. And then yes, prepare for the case study as well. Don't just go with some of the dumps which you may find over the internet. Don't rely on that because there may be lot of incorrect answers into them and incorrect explanation, and that's where then you may get confused. That's why it's important that having the content from the right education endorsed provider. All right. So with this, we are done. It's open for now having the questions from everyone.
Hi, Sashank. This is Shivakumar here.
Hi, Shiva.
Sashank, being an IIBA endorsed partner, do you have any information that, we're going to have some Christmas offers for the IIBA examination fees? Because, wanted to plan accordingly. So that is the reason. Because I see that it was given last year. So do you have any upfront information on that?
As such, I don't have upfront information, but yeah, that will be like coming on the IIBA side. Last year it was there, so a very high possibility that for this year as well at the end of the year, they may have those like discount on the exam fees.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So some questions which I see on chat as well. What is the weightage of numerical questions in CCBA exam? So in CCBA exam, very less weightage for numerical questions. CBAP would have the numerical questions, but yeah, you can expect, and even in CCBA also around 2 to 3 questions, very straightforward. They can be like from your techniques like estimation, financial analysis, where you are given straightforward numbers. You just need to use the formula. So yeah, you can expect around 2 to 3 questions in CCBA, and in CBAP around 5+ questions. So Shweta has next question. What is the difference between case study and scenario-based question? Sure. So in case study, like I have demonstrated over the one of a case study based questions where you get around 3 to 4 pages of case study, a lot of facts and numbers are there, situations are there, and based on that, you have to answer it like that. Whereas scenario based questions are not like case study based question. That is just some scenario where they give you a scenario that, for example, it can be from, and again, like the questions can be connecting 2 or 3 different knowledge areas as well at the same time and giving you a scenario. And it can be something like you perform business analysis, planning and monitoring. You got some inputs from there, how you are going to utilize it while you are going to do some interviews with your stakeholders. So you have to understand that, okay, first part of this question is about understanding something from business analysis, planning and monitoring. And then something like after that, it's talking about elicitation and collaboration. So what is the best thing you would be doing? So here you see that is like a scenario which is being given to you. Then you have to tell that what is the right answer. Case study based questions can be like a lot of answers you may find from the case study. Based on that entire case study, only some of the questions would be there, and there may be some general questions as well. Ashok has a question. What is the sequence of RLM? I think you mean requirement lifecycle management, RLCM. Is this what is the sequence of RLM? What do you mean by RLM? In priority during prep, Ashok? You can go like unmute and explain what you meant. I think you may be asking about what is the sequence of RLCM, which is requirement lifecycle management during your prep. So as I said, that start first with your strategy analysis, then business analysis, planning and monitoring. After that, elicitation and collaboration. And then you can take RLCM, which is requirement lifecycle management. I would say requirement lifecycle management is one of the easiest knowledge area. as all of the tasks are kind of standalone. It's more about the guidelines in terms of doing requirement lifecycle management, like how to trace requirements, how to maintain the requirements, how to prioritize the requirements. So these kind of things are there into requirement lifecycle management. So yeah, that can be the order that you can follow. After that, you will have RADD and then suggestion evaluation. All right. Any other question? Or you can unmute yourself if you want to, talk about it. Okay, Ashok is saying, I'm trying to connect on mail, but no one is responding from Tech Converse regarding CBAP. What question you have, Ashok? I have Mahima here as well. Otherwise, you can definitely connect or maybe give a direct call as the number which you see here.
Yes, Ashok. You can even mark that mail again, and I'll ask the team to revert back.
Yeah. Even if you have specific question, if you think I even also can help you answering that. Is it about a training session or is it about a general question?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I was facing some problem.
Okay.
With the system actually. So I just wanted to understand the course structure and the fee because I've seen that a new batch is going to be started soon.
Yeah.
So,
For that, you can definitely contact on this, write email one more time, and someone from Tech Canvas will get that to you.
Sure.
Yeah. One more question from Parth is, will one of the faculties at Tech Canvas help me to get a reference for CCP examination? Absolutely. So there are a requirement of 2 references for CCPA or CBAP. Recommendation is one, which can be anyone who is CBAP certified. So yes, any faculty who would be training you would be CBAP certified. So for sure, you will be getting one reference from them. And the second one you need to get from one of your manager, which can be from your existing company. It can be even someone from your previous company. In fact, it can be someone, can be a client as well who know you as a business analyst. That is how you can fulfill the reference needs.
Aisha Shank, second reference, does he have CBAP certified or
any
manager is sufficient?
It can be anyone who just know you as a business analyst, that you have performed some of the business analyst activity. It can be manager, need not to be business analysis manager. It can be any PM, it can be any client. So yeah.
Okay.
No other question, then we can conclude this session. Mahima, if you want to give final closing notes. Okay, I'm sorry. Did you say you need 2 references? No. Yes, Parth, you need 2 references. One is anyone who is CBAP certified, and the second one is your manager. So yeah, you need 2, not 1.
So I guess we are good to wrap up.
Yep.
Thank you everyone for joining today's session. Thank you, Shashank. It was a great session.